Newsflash everybody, Nintendo just updated the designs for a lot of the icons, the Switch profile icons in the 20.0 update. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. We're gonna rank them. Let's go! First we got Mr. Vigigame himself, Mario. Oh man, I'm already gonna start with a hot take. I think that honestly, the original sweeps. The original freaking sweeps. I think the original is very nice looking on the eyes, realistically. I think the proportions look to stuff. I think it fills a lot of the space well. Obviously the face makes very good, like, subject matter. I feel like the new one, the face is just a little bit too crushed, squished together. I will say this, between the two, this one looks more like an actual, like, Illustrator image that was touched up in Photoshop, where this one feels more like it is an actual 3D model that is being rendered. But I feel like this one just has way more breathing room on the left, where on the right, the face just looks a little bit too smushed to me. It's like too smushed together. I feel like the eyes are a little too realistic in a way. Yeah, I think Mario's left profile image just looks way easier on the eyes. The mustache is perkier, the eyebrows are just more expressive. I feel like the eyes are just more direct at you. I just think, honestly, between the two, I think the original sweeps. I think this looks like a more professional look for an actual, like, mascot character, where this looks like somebody's first try drawing him. I do like the hat, though. Actually, no, I take that back. The hat is just a little bit more perky over here. Yeah, I think the left sweeps. The original was better, don't at me. Alright, we got Yoshi, though. Now, depending on what device you're looking on, there might not actually be too much of a difference. But the colors are actually pretty distinct from each other if you're looking at this on standard devices. If you're looking at HD, I think the colors look pretty similar. You wouldn't be able to tell the difference. But on standard definition devices, you can tell that this is way more green than the true green that they used for this Yoshi right here. Obviously, the eyes, the pupils are just a little bit bigger. The reds are a little bit more red. You can see the tongue a little bit better. Honestly, in stark contrast to the Mario before, I think this is a clear upgrade over the original. The original's a little bit flat, but this is just a little bit more realized, a lot more lighting. Just smoother shadows throughout the board. The nose just looks so much better in the new one than the original. I feel like this is just a bulbous little boy, you know? Yeah, I gotta be real. I don't know what was wrong with the first Mario. I think first Mario was a little bit of a letdown, but this new Yoshi is definitely taking the win in this matchup to me. But that's not all from Yoshi, because his little artwork image got updated too, and it's pretty different. Obviously, this one is way more inspired off of the new Super Mario Bros. Games, and this one's way more inspired off of World. You know, honestly, they're both good. I feel like we should have just had both. Like, I don't know why this one needed to go. Like, you just can't pick this one anymore. It's just, here's World. I mean, there are, like, a lot of differences. And I feel like this one's just way more consistent with, like, the modern era. Like, if you told me which one I prefer, I think I prefer this one. But I see the validity for this one, too. I feel like they should have just had both of them. This one's new Super Mario Bros. This one's Super Mario World. I don't feel like it was entirely in the right to completely Thanos snap this one, because honestly, I think I just like a lot of the things about this one better. Also, I noticed the eyes actually connect here, where the eyes just like go over his head. I mean, it's very cartoony, but again, I just feel like between the two, the nostrils, everything, I feel like I just like this design a little bit more than this one, even though this one is clearly world inspired. Alright, let's move on to Luigi. Oh my goodness. That is like night and day. This is like a genuinely different pose altogether, because Luigi just looking at you straight on in this one. Like, it's just like, it's a mugshot image, where this one, they gave him a little bit of spice, opening his mouth a little bit, but that shifts his nose up, and that covers up his eyes, too. Now, eyes are really important when it comes to profile pictures. You don't want to cover those up, but yeah, it looks a little uncanny to me when he does that. I feel like Unlike the Mario, his proportions on the face haven't been like adjusted at all. I feel like the proportions are fine, but as an actual profile image though, I think this one just works so much better than this one. I know that this one is technically more expressive, but they just chose an expression that I feel like isn't a flattering look for the rest of his face other than the mouth. Probably did it to differentiate Mario and Luigi a little bit more, but I don't know. I think this is another point for the original. Again, it's just cleaner, it's more palatable, it's a little easier on the eyes. And speaking of the eyes, I think that's just the true winner between the two. These are just a little bit more friendlier. These are a little bit, it's just, they're obfuscated by Luigi's giant nose. Should have kept your mouth shut, Luigi. It would have been better for you. Alright, now we got Peach. Peach is almost looking the exact same, but there are slight differences. They made her skin a little bit more peachy in the new one. They used to be more like a Snow White vibe where it's just white skin, but I kind of like it. It's just a little bit more human-like, or a little bit more real, I suppose. Other than that, they pretty much just gave her a new texture bump. The dress is floofier, the hair is a little bit more stylized. They nudged her up a single pixel. Honestly, I think the new one's just a passive upgrade. I'm just gonna be completely real. Oh, I especially think the hair in the back, you could definitely recognize the curvature of it way more, where it just looks like a giant like PNG. In this one, you really can't make out where it goes, but you can definitely see way more of the layering that happens back here. Yeah, this is just a definitive upgrade in my book. The brooch looks so much better on her too. Yeah, I'm gonna be completely honest. Just like the Yoshi before, I feel like this is just a definitive upgrade. This one looks a little bit flat. Again, it is easy on the eyes, but so is this one, too. I feel like it's less outrageous than like the Mario Bros. Redesigns. You got a little bit more real, but not real that it looks uncanny. It still looks good. Yeah. And honestly, between the two, I feel like this one fits the image better. The eyes and the crown also just seen a massive glow up. I think this is just a better visual enhancement all across the board. Although this one is a little bit more chunky than this one is if you look very closely. Guess all those sports games over the years on the Switch got her a little more thin. Okay, they made a lot of changes to Bowser. They added a lot more texture to the shell and his spikes on them. The colors are a lot different between his skin, a lot more brighter, a lot more saturated in this image than this one. A lot more yellows, a lot more shading. And his tongue and the teeth, I think, are a massive improvement over the original. The only thing that I'm like genuinely torn on is the hair. I feel like the original hair is just a lot more striking, just as that bold red, where and they decided they did the same thing as Peach, but instead of like having it be like black shaded with Peach's hair, they did like a white light. I think it's probably because like all of the characters, when they were rendered, they had like the same light source applied for all of the models, because these are probably 3D models, let's be real. But yeah, I'm genuinely torn. There are a lot of good changes that happen here, but even the texture on the face too, that's just a lot better. Man, it's a really tough one. Like even the metallic, now that I'm really looking at it, like it's like they got almost everything right in the redesign except for the hair. And it's just such a jarring change that I almost still want to side with the original, but it's like there's so many changes that it's like impossible to deny that like it's a 90% improvement, but the 10% that they didn't get hurts it so much. Man, I hate to be honest. I think I'm still siding with the original. I like the new changes that they made, but the hair is just too striking of a change that I think the original is just a better, cleaner one to look at overall. Like, I don't think the original is bad. There are improvements made here, but there's just one downgrade, that was made that just kind of makes it obsolete when looking at the original to me. Yeah, I think I gotta go Team OG. Okay, we got the most drastic change to one of the bunch, the one that probably actually prompted them to do this. The new Donkey Kong redesign. Honestly, I feel like we should have just had both. Obviously, they're both completely different. They're just two completely different designs of the same character. But yeah, I feel like they both serve their different purposes. I feel like this works for Bonanza, the new game that's coming out and everything. But this is just Donkey Kong. I like this Donkey Kong. I don't know why it had to get changed. I feel like that between the two, this one's just funnier. And I know it's funny because it looks worse. But it's a DK profile picture. You want it to be funny. Donkey Kong is literally supposed to mean stupid monkey. This just looks like a stupid monkey. A stupider monkey than this one. So honestly, it's like they should have just had both. It's just another instance where they definitely should have had both. I do like the fur a lot better in this one, but like definitively though, I do think that this is the better design. But I like this. I just like this more. We should have had both. I'm just gonna say it. Okay, this is just weird though. They updated his actual like artwork icon too, but they didn't update it the same way as they updated the new one. This is like, I don't even know what it's designed off of. I'm assuming it would have to be like the arcade design, but like, I don't know. I mean, they did change his nose. That was like the massive thing that they changed, but I like how they added this little tuft of fur to him, just to give him a little bit more fur. I don't know, man, it's another instance where I feel like I don't know why we needed one or the other. I feel like both of them could have been fine. They both exist for their own reasons, so I guess this is... I know it'd be weird to say why not have both and have so many profile pictures. Like, have so many almost duplicate profile pictures. People would probably be mad at that. But, like, genuinely, why can't we have both? Like, I don't know. Taking a break from main series characters at the moment. We got the Mushroom! We got Ben! Speaking of Ben, though, I think it's very funny how, like, the only really, like, obvious change between the two is that they just changed the color palette, and he looks like he just came out of the Big British Band. But yeah, honestly, I think this is just another instance of a definitive upgrade. This one, it just looks flat. It looks like it came out of vector art, where this one definitely is looking a little bit more like a 3D model with the proper shading, with the proper lighting and the proper shading. I do like how it does have that rim shadow, but the actual shadow underneath it is way more lighter. There is a little bit more space between the eyes. The eyes are a little bit thinner, but they're also a little bit bigger or like taller too. Yeah, between these two, I think I'm definitely leaning toward the new design a little bit more. I might be biased just a little bit, but yeah, I'm leaning a lot more toward this, to be honest. Here's the Fire Flower, though. Honestly, why did they even feel like they needed to change this one? I feel like the quality with the eyes is just a little bit better on the original. I feel like this one is like a little bit dirty, a little bit. Like, this one looks clean. This one just looks like the resolution just got neutered a little bit. Other than that, really only a change that high definition seers are gonna see. This one's just a way more vibrant green than this is. But honestly, for a plant, I think the less vibrant green makes more sense. I mean, to be completely honest, these are basically looking at the same image. If I saw this image today and I came back tomorrow and I saw this one, I wouldn't think that there was even a difference. But I think if I had to give one over the other, I think honestly the original edges it out just a little bit more. It just looks a little bit better, a little bit more professional. This one, I'm seeing a little bit too much of a blur effect. Again, it's literally the same thing as the Mario, where it's like, this is somebody's almost trace-over recreation, but it's not as perfectly tuned as the original. And then we got the star. Honestly, these are pretty different. I mean, if you're looking at them in high definition, there really isn't that much of a difference. However, if you're looking at them in standard definition, this almost looks way more golden, where this looks almost more magical. And I guess that's just a preference thing, because it's like the eyes are different. The eyes are a lot more yellow in this one, where they're just a lot more silver in this one. Yeah, it's totally up to preference. I mean, it's like, do you like your stars golden, or do you like your stars powerful and magical? And I think for Mario's sake, I guess the magical one just makes more sense, because it literally just gives you invincibility. But at the same time, you also have Mario Party, where the stars are like treated as trophies. So I kind of like this one more too. I think it depends on the game, and I feel like, to me, the stars are just better as collectibles rather than power-ups. So I think I just prefer the OG a little bit more, just because they're more trophy-like in appearance rather than this one where they actually appear as power-ups. If you want me to be completely honest, I would probably put these in. Why don't we have both? I know that seems so superfluous to have two profile icons of the same star, but like, I don't know, I could see either one happening. Okay, this one got a lot of change for like almost no reason. It's the Yoshi egg. So I guess the question stands, how do you like your spots? Honestly, I don't know. I think I kind of like the OG. I mean, they're really not different at all, if we're being completely honest. It's still an egg. But I feel like that there's just more white presence on this one. It feels like the circles are a little bit more accurately sized here. This one, they kind of look like they're a little off model, even though realistically they probably still did try to make them the most realistically sized circles that they could. Yeah, I would probably say that with the shading and the white, I think I just do kind of lean toward the original just a little bit more. But honestly, I really don't care. It's not like that there isn't change between the two. It's more like I really don't care. Who the frick is actually using the egg as their profile picture in the first place? Let's be completely honest. They changed this? Could you honestly tell? Okay, the only difference between the two is that if you're looking at this in high definition, this question mark is slightly more white than this one. Honestly, did they even need to change that? I mean, I guess I choose the whiter white rather than the darker one, but like, it's the same picture. There's no difference. Okay, this one I could arguably see a little bit more, because they did make the green a little bit different on high definition. But again, yeah, it's literally the same image. Who in the world is actually using a Koopa shell as their image? I just have to know. I would get if it was like a blue shell or a red shell, but like a green shell? I don't know. I'd love to meet the people who actually use a green shell as their profile image. Honestly, besides the color, there's like no change. I mean, what green do you really have a preference for? I guess this one, if I had to, but there was like no change. I don't even know why they bothered. But for some reason, the Mario characters weren't the only ones massacred in this. We also got some Pikmin 2, and they are a little bit different. The difference between these two is that this is like the art style that Pikmin 3 went for a lot of its promotional material. It was still kind of bridging the gap between what you saw in the game and like the clay style that was like used in the first. No, actually I think Pikmin 2 definitely lent into the claymation style a lot more. And this is just what the Pikmin appear as in like the game, in the promotional materials. That's just what Nintendo wants. But honestly, from like an actually like art style perspective, I think I prefer this one more. The transition from Pikmin to bulb is a little bit more natural. Rather, this one, it's a Pikmin and there's a bulb on top. I like how the Pikmin is just looking at you in this one, and how his eyes are just a little bit bigger. I feel like this one just looks a little bit more basic. I feel like if I originally had this one as my profile picture, I probably did it just because I would have liked the actual eyes. This one, I would be fairly disappointed if, like, they changed the eyes even a little bit if I had this profile picture. I don't know, I think I'd have to give this one to the original. The blue Pikmin 2, man, that's a hard sell. I mean, to be fair, I feel like this is more iconic, just the blue Pikmin tripping with the eye closed. But again, it's like if you originally had this one set as your profile picture, it's just so funny, just face planting on the ground with your eyes open like I just freaking fell over. With this one, I do feel like this is a better one. It's way more expressive. This one is just funnier to me. Man, it's a hard sell. It's a hard sell. I feel like objectively, though, I do have to say that this one is better. But this one is funny. I have to give this one points for the funny. But yeah, this one, I'm not even going to go as far as to say that we needed both. I feel like this is technically, by all accounts, better. But this is still funny. This is just funny to me. And guys, last but not least, for the grand finale, the most important change in the whole book, we got yellow. Honestly, I really don't know what to say is the better one. I mean, I guess stylistically, I think I just prefer this one a little bit more. The yellow, the eyes just have a little bit more shadow. The actual Pikmin itself looks a little bit more like a flat image on this one, but this one just has a little bit more depth. The flower in particular just has a little bit more of a speckled flower style going on. And then, of course, you do have the slow gradient from the Pikmin body to the flower. Yeah, if I had to choose, I think I just prefer this one. It's just a little bit more iconic to me as a Pikmin fan. So we got some winners, we got some losers, and we got a handful that I honestly don't even know why they even tried. I guess none of this really matters because Nintendo only gives you the option for the new ones now. I guess at the end of the day, there's really not much more to say other than, ¿Por qué no los dos?